It's you literally need to dissolve your concept of self and just abide in it. And you'll never be able to describe it. You'll never be able to understand it. But it's the abidance. It's the dissolving into. That's it. We've been there so many times, but you only realize that when you had a truly conscious and sober awakening happen, that you can look back and be like, oh my God, how was I so blind? How did I have such an expansive experience, but missed the last step? I missed the last step of letting go of understanding it.
Welcome to another Best Friend episode of Wild Satsang and with the Homies, with longtime UT boys, Chris Taylor and Luke Arndt.
Come along as we veer off the direct path to caress some toads, cuddle some cacti, pop a couple dung wieners, and just shoot the shit celebrating the beautiful dream of duality.
No time to waste. Literally, there is actually no time.
But yet, adventure awaits.
Let's dance with the stars and ride the waves of infinity.
You there?
Hey. Yep.
Dude,
did you try calling me multiple times?
No, just once.
Oh.
Did that cut out at the funniest time? What were you saying?
At the tattoo shop, we were talking about peeing in alleyways and stuff, and like whatever. And I was like, yeah. One time, my friend he pooped in a parking lot of the bar because he said that he would feel way better going to the party with it not being in him, and everyone started laughing. And I was like, yeah. And they were just 3 little pebbles this big. I was like, you can feel those?
Wait, that was me? Who was that?
Yeah,
that was me?
Yes.
The only reason I thought that was me because like, yeah, I do shit like a moose. Like just those little like pebbles.
That's what they said. They're like, what, does he shit like a rabbit? I'm like, yeah, he does, literally.
For real. In a parking lot, dude? Savage. Where was this?
It was in the park. What is the bar name that we used to go for dollar bottles?
Dude, a lot of them. What do you mean? Like that was the only bars we would go to. Dude,
yeah.
those are solid times.
Dude,
Pooping in parking lots? Not that I explicitly remember that. Might be made up.
No, it's true. I still remember the picture in my head.
Dude, but the fact that you say like 3 Little Rocks came out, like, yeah, no, that checks out. That's so yeah, you're probably right. That probably definitely happened. That's
Dude.
hilarious.
I don't really regret anything, but I do sometimes wish like I could have this mind and consciousness and awareness that I have now, but in college, because it was already a ton of fun, but it'd be even more fun not being so self-conscious and weird.
Dude.
That reminds me of, remember Graham A. Weed?
What?
It was a kid that we went to school with. His name was Graham, his last name was Weed, and his middle initial was A.
Dude, I do. Where did we meet him?
Oh, he was in some of our classes.
He was like a legit person, dude. You're like, no way. Graham A. Weed, like he literally said that. And he was real. He was a real person.
Those parents were so mean.
Dude, that was fucked up. We did kind of go to a hippie college, but still, that's extra. That's too far.
Too much.
That's too much. You gotta know when to cut the phones, beat alongs, and the fucking grams of weed. You gotta dial back the dosage.
I also think about Pierce just because of like the time you told me that you guys were walking through the woods and saw a black bear. He's like, oh, don't worry, and tried chasing it off.
Yeah, dude, we were at Tree Haven, like the outdoor like kind of learning area, dude. And we were like surveying. We were doing like some forestry stuff, like surveying this forest. And like we were walking through our transects through the forest, and there was a fucking black bear, and I was like, oh shit! And I kind of like stopped, and I was like, all right, so like we have to coordinate this. Like nobody fucking run or do anything crazy. And all of a sudden, Pierce runs off straight at the fucking bear, and I'm like, bro, no! And like, I'm freaking out, and already I see, and like all the rest of us see these 2 little cubs fucking run straight up a tree. And at that point, you know, like, he's gonna get fucked up. Like, this bear's gonna fuck him up. And good thing he's a fucking 400-pound behemoth, because that bear kind of like it. You could tell it kind of thought about it, but it like kind of like was like, shot, fuck this guy up. But then the bear like kind of bolted. But to like tree two cubs with the mama bear right there, how that bear does not fuck you up. You rolled the dice and you won on that one, but you gambled heavy.
It's pure luck.
That's a 1 out of that's probably a 1 out of 20 if we're giving it a real scale. But dude, you won that one. That bear should have fucked you up. That dude was crazy.
Wow. I think about this story all the time. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a wild story. Pierce was a good dude though.
Yeah, he is a good dude.
I lost touch with him. We should find out where he's at.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna come.
You're gonna. It's like 2 or 3 weeks off.
Oh yeah,
I won't be there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You should come, man.
Well, actually, I do have books on how to build an Earthship.
I bet you do. Yeah, you've been talking about that one for a long time.
So let's build like a mini Earthship hut.
Yeah.
On that property.
Yeah, all right.
No classes, just pull out the books and wing it. Yeah. I'm down.
I mean, that's what so many people do, dude. You see these fucking these old ass dudes with just these like houses made of plaster and glass bottles of different colors. It's like, yeah, didn't have a blueprint for that one. Like that should just started plastering and bottling around. Made up shape.
He did go to architecture school.
You know specifically who I'm talking about then.
Michael Reynolds.
Hilarious. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so funny. Yeah.
Have you watched his documentary?
No, but I bet it's sick.
It's pretty good. He's a character, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it, man. I'm down.
All right.
Let's pick out the property. All right. I move out to California. I go to school. I get 2.5 week breaks between each trimester. And I'll help pick out. We'll go on trips. We'll pick out the land. We'll start setting up tent shit. I'll graduate. I'll be working at a practice or start my own practice. And I'll save up some money, contribute some more stuff. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're doing that.
Do you remember when we had the idea of just like getting those hammocks? Just a shit ton of hammocks and just setting them up in random spots. You know, because we can spot a spot of just like where you're just gonna be there and just like it's a perfect like that's fucking church right there. Like just like where nature, external nature, internal nature, the exact same thing. It's just like a purity spot. And like remember we were gonna set up those hammocks and then put like a hashtag on them so that people could like click or like look up the hashtag and like find the other spots or something like that, and like be like a social network of just like people who just enjoy spots.
This was concocted while on LSD.
While on LSD floating down the Truckee River.
Yeah.
From Lake Tahoe. That's right. Yep.
We could still do that.
Dude, that was a great idea. We were tripping. But just spinning around super slow, like it was like the slowest pace. It was such a perfect pace, and like just like the lime green moss on like the trees and like the mountains. Like as you're floating along, you're like, oh, there's a fucking spot. Remember, we wanted to skate, like go to them, but then we were like thought better of it.
Yeah,
we're like, we're not in any condition to scale a mountain right now in our fucking flip flops.
Yeah, flip flops and like drunk on whiskey and it's on LSD
and just frog eyeing out.
Remember how like that float was only supposed to take like an hour and a half, 2 hours max?
Like 8 hours.
we're like, how do you know when it ends? And they're like, oh, you'll know. It's like,
we didn't know. We didn't know. It was dark, and we're just like, maybe we should get out now.
Wanted to stay longer.
Oh my god, dude, we might have floated I think we floated way too fucking long, dude. We just kept going.
Not sure, because the walk back did not take very long.
Yeah, but we were tripping. It might have.
Yeah, who knows, actually.
Sense of time kind of gets skewed in those positions.
That was so funny.
And then
That
we
was
just like
great.
dropped into that restaurant, just all bug-eyed.
Dude, that was probably. You remember coming off the walk back from tubing and like looking in the reflection of the car and being like, "Oh God," like, "Oh no,"
Shriveled up, like just
all
pruned out.
scraggly and dirty.
Yeah, yeah, life force energy just sucked out of your fucking nipples.
It was not a good look.
Not a good look, but we showed up anyways.
I was concerned that they were gonna think we were homeless.
Dude, I'm sure they did. And we basically were though, dude. We were living on a tent for like a week at that point. Oh my god.
Dude,
great.
I was sorry.
I'm about to do
I
that
just
shit
jumped.
again.
I know. I want to do that again, and
No,
it
we're
made me
going
think
to
about how
remember in like 2 weeks.
we are going to. And it made me think about how cool it was that like we had only planned for one day at Big Basin, and then we just enjoyed it so much that we stayed, what, 2 more nights or something?
Dude, 2 or 3. We
3?
just kept showing up for like first come first serve campsites.
Yeah.
And, like early in the morning, and like we just kept getting like the sickest ones. Like they kept getting better. Like deeper
Dude,
into the forest with bigger trees. It was sweet.
I didn't realize that that's right in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, it's right there. Like Big Basin.
I had no idea.
Redwoods is right up there. We did
Oh yeah.
freaking chumies there, remember?
Mhm.
Wachuma? Yeah. That was
Remember when I jumped out, I was like bummed that I was like saying hi to people and they weren't
Dude,
saying hi back.
No, you kept saying hi like too early, like
Too early.
like 30 feet like before like passing each other on a trail. You'd be like hi, like under your breath. I'm like, dude, your timing is way off. I was like, and you started like getting really self-conscious. You're like, dude, no one's saying hi back. I'm like, you're saying it too early. Like they're not hearing you. You're like, no, I don't think they like it. You're so, like you were really like thinking like people like were like really not friendly on the trail. And I was like, don't, dude, you just keep saying it way too early. And
I
then
remember, and then like waiting, and I was like, I felt the urge to say hi, and I was like, no, wait, and then until they got closer, and they're like, hi, and they said hi back. I'm like, yes,
yes, but it was also way too mechanical and planned of a hi. Like it was so funny. Like it was clearly like you planned it out way too.
I was just so eager to meet everyone.
You were. It was fantastic. And then we smoked like a joint in a tree. Like we found a hollowed out tree. Remember? We on that pathway we found a hollowed out tree and we smoked a joint there. And then I think we were like it leveled out better. And then you had the idea about Phil.
Yeah, Phil the mini squatch. the human. Remember they all disgusted. They're all like
Phil
he's
the
like
mini squatch.
He was a hiker that got lost in the woods and decided to eat some mushrooms off a stump. Or no, eat some mushrooms, and then like 2 stumps went and then turned into Sasquatches.
Yeah, like phase changed into his dimension, or like he phase changed into their dimension. Like the stumps were just squatches. Yeah.
Yep. And then they accepted him into their group, but they're always disgusted with his hairless, naked body and his little peen that like dangles in the cartoon.
Drawing, dude, just a little fucking nub on little Phil the Sam Squanch. Or no, what was it called? What was it called?
Mini Squatch.
Phil the Mini Squatch. Yeah. Dude, you have this little nub peen. Yeah, he's like a naked mole rat amongst the Sasquatches. Dude, that was such a good cartoon. Your drawings of that was so funny.
And then he like every episode he's trying some sort of hair growth thing to grow hair on his body. Just like a little side story, like
to try to like, fit in. Dude, yeah, for the mini squatch. Dude, that was so good.
And then we took a nap and on a fallen redwood off the trail.
Oh, we did. That was a good nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we basically.
I remember like staring up at the. Yeah, I remember staring up at the canopy and just like, because it was still on the choomies, and it just like, I don't know. It was crazy. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah.
No, there's no distance between everything. Everything was just existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny like that. Like like when you get glimpses into awakening, you look back at those type of experience and you're like, wow, that like I did walk through the door. I just didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just too big for me to like to truly understand what was happening.
Or, oh, well, that just pinged like a couple things. But since last week, when we were talking, and I had those just moments where it's like the sense of self just flicked out. I realized that like my daily practices of surrender and being present are like just only a half a step away from there, and it makes in my daily practices of like surrender to being and tuning in to the present of whatever's happening in the body and the mind and outside or whatever, it like those daily practices of just tuning into those senses of being in the present moment make it that much easier to get a step over, you know? And
to realize there's no distance actually between you and that conscious abidance.
Yeah, exactly. And then the big part is when you just said like, oh, I walked through the door, but it was just too big to understand it. I remember kind of coming out of my first couple ayahuasca ceremonies and just having, it's funny, the ego just freaking out, thinking like I have to become enlightened now, and which is kind of funny, but like it was like consciousness itself was trying to show me what it was to be awakened, but the ego in its anxious state was too frantic, and it's just like I'd become very aware of everything around me, but the sense of separation that was the veil of ego was also so intense that it made me feel very claustrophobic, but also like everything around me was so sublimely brilliant at the same time.
Can I show you something here? This is
sure.
You're at, like that is super. That's the doorstep. That's the doorstep to awakening right there. The thing is, you cannot fit that into the egoic conceptual model, and so you need like it just doesn't fit. And so like you're already in it. That's the thing. You're already in it. The
You're
thing
always
is
in it.
you're trying to look at it through the ego model, through the ego lens. And it doesn't fit through that kaleidoscope. It doesn't fit through that telescope or that microscope or that lens. It just doesn't fit in that. And so, but that's already what it's within. And so it's just a simple, it's like no step. It's like no distance because it's already surrounding it. It's already what the ego lens is looking inside of, but it just doesn't fit in the egoic lens. And so the step is so simple and it's so clear and it's just right there. And it's just that you need to stop trying to fit it in. You just got to stop trying to fit it in the ego lens. And you just sit in it. And you, like we were saying earlier, you don't label, you don't give meaning to, you don't try to like conceptualize it, you don't try to describe it, you don't try to even understand it. That's one of the big parts. You don't even try to understand it. As soon as you try to understand it, you're shoving it into a conceptual model. You're shoving it into a contraction of which it's not. And so you'll never understand it. You can't. It's the mystery like we were talking about. It's you literally need to dissolve your concept of self and just abide in it. And you'll never be able to describe it. You'll never be able to understand it. But it's the abidance. It's the dissolving into. That's it. We've been there so many times, but you only realize that when you had a truly conscious and sober awakening happen, that you can look back and be like, oh my God, how was I so blind? How did I have such an expansive experience, but missed the last step? I missed the last step of letting go of understanding it.
And that's the thing, is it's not, what's interesting in the way I relate to it in my experience is like it takes effort and focused attention to be present to everything that is, but then in this, which is almost feels like an action, but then the last step is the letting go, which is inaction of no understanding. It's like a Chinese finger trap. You know what I mean? Like this, and just a gentle this.
Yeah,
you can't force a let go, but to get to that point, I had to take action. Of like